It's time for Inside TWiT, the chance to get together once a week with you, our viewers, with our CEO, Lisa Kensel, and me, and talk about what's going on in TWiT. We are going to take calls as we did last week. And I think we're going to do this. We're trying to do this most weeks and take calls every time we do it at 8888 Ask Leo, 888-827-5536. We don't have as much to talk about this week as we did last week. We had some changes and so forth. Or do you?
Well, we do. We have a few more changes that we just announced today. I literally just posted a new blog post about our changes on Coding 101. There's actually an update on that show. We have decided to take the content of that show and change the direction of it a little bit. We're finding that our audience is more intrigued with the interviews with the developers and the programmers, and we wanted to take that show and make it more of a deeper dive into working, with the coders and developers on what they're working on, their philosophies, as well as starting to do projects. So we're going to shift the focus of that show, and it's not going to go about just teaching coding.
Well, this seemed like a good idea at the time, but there's so many ways to do that now with coding.com and so forth. And
as well as our sponsors and other people that are on our network.
Well, they don't teach programming. Linda does.
Linda does. Lynda.com
So we just feel like it's not the ideal format to do a weekly show about learning how to code, but it is a great format to meet professional programmers, talk about their work, talk about what they do, things like that. So I think
we think it's the right direction.
A reasonable direction to go with it. Yeah.
Agreed. So with this change, with the shift in focus, Shannon's leaving Coding 101, but she's not leaving our network. So you're going to see Shannon returning to Before You Buy. She's going to be a weekly contributor with product reviews, and you'll still see her in our studio. And I'm happy to say that we're keeping her presence on our network. Yes. So, this is
a
positive
by
change.
himself, or are we going to have?
Well, it's going to be Robert by himself, but he's probably going to integrate other programmers from time to time. They may stay on for a couple of episodes.
Yeah, Lou Moresco has been a big help on that show. He's the Lou MM in our chat room, the Microsoft programmer. I just think it makes sense. It was kind of a challenge to teach you how to program, even for a few weeks. It just seemed it was my idea. But I think I read a book when I was young called Programmers at Work, which I highly recommend from the Microsoft Press. And it was so influential to me on talking to people working as programmers and how they think about everything from naming variables to what their coding environment's like, why they chose a language. All of this stuff I think is, and really in a way that's what Lou's been doing and others. So I think this is a good direction to go.
Right. So
we don't really need a second host because
there will be guest
hosts. It's as much an interview show. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it won't be less snubs. You're actually going to see her every week still.
Yeah. Get her on
yeah. We're putting her back on Before You Buy, so you'll still see her in studio. You'll see her doing her weekly product reviews. So we're really excited about the shift that we're doing there, as well as adding back more to Before You Buy. And what else have we got on our agenda? Well, since we're talking about shows, if Miss Sarah Lane's around and wants to jump in, Sarah, do we have an update with you and Johnny Jett on the travel show? Oh, did I tell anyone yet? We're doing a travel show?
I don't think you mentioned that.
Is Sarah around?
She is. She's hard at work.
Okay, so Sarah's hard at work, but we've tasked Sarah and Johnny Jett to start working on the travel show. So soon we'll be announcing more about the format and what we're planning to do.
You just talked about that last week. It's travel tech.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Travel tech.
Well, I thought maybe we could get an update since, it's been a whole week. What else is going on? Should we talk about Acquia? We've migrated over.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you visited the Tech Guy site lately, techguylabs.com, or our main site, twit.tv, you might have noticed it's a little snappier. In fact, why don't you all go there now and find out.
And how fast does it take you to load the page? It's
really fast. What we were doing, yeah, isn't that nice? I know, it's noticeably different.
I didn't even blink and it was already up.
When I started TWiT in 2005, I leased servers, dedicated servers from SoftLayer, which is now owned by IBM. But we've been with SoftLayer ever since. So how many servers are we up to? 25 or something?
Yes,
ridiculous number.
It was a ridiculous number.
And the problem, the way I had started initially was with servers that we managed. So they were, in fact, they stayed that way. We were dedicated servers, and we were responsible for maintaining the software, everything. And so we hired Mike Taylor, Bear. Hire is not the right word because he volunteered for a long time.
Yeah.
And finally we said, well, we really ought to give you some money for doing this. So he's been very kindly sysadminning for us, but we are not a full-time job for him. We've had some others like Chris Dieterle working with us.
Is going to play Steve Jobs. I called that.
What?
This is the big news.
Who's going to play Steve Jobs?
Christian Bale.
You did call it. And he's the perfect guy for Steve
He's a
Jobs.
great guy.
But as I was saying, so now so we got
That was kind
hecklers
of funny.
in our own
I wonder if
studio.
somebody's going to go running by us at this point.
Naked. So I do that to
preferably
them,
not.
so it's only fair
Let's
they do
not
it to me.
scare anyone.
So what we've decided in the interim, we decided also that I decided at the time to use Drupal as our content management system. And what has happened in the interim is that several companies have started up dedicated to Drupal hosting and managed service. And after shopping around, we decided on the company that was started by the creator of Drupal, Dries van Boys, or however you pronounce his name, called Acquia, A-C-Q-U-I-A. And so we have moved now. It's been in process for the last couple of months. We've moved both of our Drupal websites, techguylabs.com and TWiT.tv, to Acquia. And so you probably already noticed incredible improvements in performance.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And then, if something goes wrong, there's 24/7 support. I mean, it's just going to be so much better for us. So we're very happy about that. Dan Admin, the admin slot has gone from the listing. There is no Dan Admin.
I have no idea what
Dan
that is.
is our chat mod.
Yeah.
The sysadmin has always been Mike Taylor, Bear.
Right.
So that's stage one of a total redesign for the TWiT website.
Which we start next week in Austin.
We're going down to Austin to meet with our designers, our design team, 4 Kitchens.
Right. And I'm excited to say we're doing a meetup at the Westin Austin at the Domain on Thursday, October 23rd.
Now that's new.
At 7 p.m.
So we're having a meetup. Both you and I
Wait.
have put this on our Google Plus
But
page.
there's even more to this about this meetup is that we're actually going to have our developers there with us, the 4 Kitchens team. And they're really excited to meet a few of our fans because they want to talk about, they want to meet our fans and see how you use
the audience that's
TWiT
going to be
and-
using the website.
Agreed. So I'm really looking forward to having a bunch of our fans show up, especially the ones that listen to like 20 shows.
And people will be very interested, I think, in they will be interested in maybe getting some business cards and maybe having you be an ongoing advisory group. They're based in Austin. So we're going down to Austin to meet with them, but we're also going to do a meetup with you. So if you're in the Austin area next Thursday, come visit us. Again, where? Weston?
It's going to be, it's on, it's posted on Inside TWiT. It's at the Westin Austin at the Domain. There's a bar inside the hotel lobby. They have food and a few other things. So it's right there on the blog.
7 to 9 p.m.
Yep.
Please come by. I'll buy you a drink. So there.
Excellent.
What else?
Well, here's the thing,
Stay away from Dallas.
Stay away.
What is that supposed to mean? You think she's Jackie and I'm Jack? Yeah, there is the link. Thank you, Effin Dunn. There's the link.
Excellent. And, well, we're going to put up a blog post about the New Year's Eve event. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions about it, so we're definitely going to address that. So we'll be posting about it next week, and there'll be more, details as to that. But if you want to come by the studio or help participate, RSVP to tickets at twit.tv, and you'll see more next
3
week.
a.m. New Year's Eve day to 3 a.m. New Year's Day. Oh, my God.
I don't know. I'm trying to. I stayed up all night in London. Remember when we were coming back from London and we didn't sleep for 24 hours? I was trying that out. It didn't work really well for me. So I guess I'm just going to have to try to get on New Year's Eve.
Well, that's a good one, Green Gate. We will be asking for feedback, but I agree. We are very aware of an international audience.
Oh, absolutely.
Doesn't mean we'll have it in other languages.
Well, and we actually built a few users that, subscribe to our shows, and we did address the global users. So if you want to volunteer to be maybe a person to help us from the outside, we're open to that too.
Right.
And so, we need to do another merchandise piece. I wanted to do another TWiT hoodie Should we do a straw poll on the actual what we're doing?
We don't do straw polls anymore. We now have Google Hangout polls.
Really?
I'm so excited. Yeah, I don't want to use straw polls.
Really?
No, because Google Hangout polls then is a much broader range of people, and I just like it better.
Okay.
Because then you don't have to remember the URL. If you're in Google Plus and you're following us on TWiT, you'll see it. I think it's just a much better way.
Well, here's my thought. I wanted to do a hoodie next because by the time we got them, we actually got them going. It would be the winter part, but what?
J Private Dev is 17. Is that bar? I think it's a restaurant bar, right? You don't have to be 21 to get to the meetup. We wouldn't do a meetup where you have to be 21.
I don't know. It is at a bar but they have a restaurant there too, so I'm not really sure.
If there's an area of that bar where 21, you have to be 21, I won't be in that area. I'll be wherever.
Well, Glenn, can you check on that? To sit at the bar, you have to be 21.
Yeah. You should know that. We never do
lobby
meetups they're not open to everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lobby and a bar, so I mean, they can't sit at the bar if they're 17. But if they're 21, they can.
And I won't be sitting at the bar.
And we won't be serving them drinks either. So,
I won't buy you I'll buy you a drink. It'll be a Pepsi.
It'll be a Pepsi.
We do, at Pittsburgh, we are planning to do more meetups. I'd like to do a meetup a month if Lisa will let me, all over the country. So.
Well, we're going to try to do a meetup every month.
There will be.
We'll do something. I mean, here's the thing. We may not be in a different city every month. It may be here, maybe in San Francisco or somewhere close by.
Yeah, I want to do it all over the country.
Our goal is... I'm working on like a schedule, so it'll probably be 10 meetups next year. I mean, I have to kind of account for like vacations and holiday time, but that's my goal: 10 to 12 meetups a year.
Absolutely. Yes, there is a Google presence on TWiT. It's our TWiT page. There is a TWiT presence on plus.google.com/+twit is the TWiT page.
I think you had too much sugar.
Where we are on Google Plus.
So funny.
plus.google.com/+twit.
Well, and you're on it as well. So are several of our hosts.
I was in Dubai a couple of years ago. I would love to come to Dubai again. I love Dubai. Yeah, we know the calendar is working, but that's part of the redesign is going to fix that. Moving to Acquia
it's a bar and a grill.
Didn't change how the site works. It merely is new hosting. We took the whole hairball site and moved it there. Now we're going to redesign it and fix it.
But at least it loads quicker. I mean, it's instant. It's not even a second to load, which I love. So are we in agreement?
Was great. What?
Are we in agreement we want to do a hoodie next?
Didn't we just do a hoodie?
We did one.
When did we do a hoodie, Glenn? Recently?
A year ago?
I don't mind doing a hoodie again. It
was a while ago. You're wearing it, aren't you?
Yep, no. TEDx Dubai. That was fun. A TWiT beanie, Jeff.
No beanies. I'm not doing a beanie. You're a crazy boy.
Ah, awesome.
Okay.
Let me say hi to Ray Maxwell real quick.
So you want to just switch to calls?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
we don't have that much to announce. Go ahead. Whatever else you have to announce.
I have one more thing.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of tired of the artwork we have, so I'd like to see if any fans have any artwork that they want to send us and give us some ideas for our next whatever we decide to do. I would love to see it. So please send them to Glenn at twit.tv, and that's GLENN at TWIT.tv. I would love to see some designs, and of course, we'll pay whoever the winner is. But I would like some help from our TWiT audience.
So a couple of years ago, we had a great show on for a couple of years. We were still in the cottage, so it was more than a couple of years ago, called Maxwell's House. Mm-hmm. Ray Maxwell is a guy I had met in Vancouver. He did some regular stuff on Call for Help in Vancouver, or Lab with Leo, I guess it was called. And he's on the line right now. Hi, Ray.
Hey, Leo. How are you doing?
I'm great. Long time no talk to you. How are you? Now, the last I heard, you had some medical issues. You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I now know all about prostate cancer.
Nice. Well, they say if you live long enough as a man, you're going to get it.
That's right.
So congratulations.
We think we beat it. So.
That's wonderful news.
I'm still flying gliders and flying model airplanes and radio-controlled helicopters and quadcopters. And, in fact, I flew a quadcopter and a helicopter in a Disney production up here recently.
How fun. I'll hook you up with Father Robert Ballasare on our Know-How show, because I think we'd love to. They're building a quadcopter right now with a Raspberry Pi smart engine. And I bet you that you would be a great resource for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Ray is just a great guy, smart guy, color scientist for many years. I just miss you so much. And it'd be so great to hear from you. Thanks. I'm glad to hear you're doing well.
If you've got any place I can fit in with my various hobbies and interests, give me a shout. And
Ray, just drop me an email. So I'm pretty sure I have your contact stuff, but just drop me an email so I can forward it to Robert. I bet you he would love to have you on Know How.
Sure, I'll do that.
Great.
Right.
And maybe, triangulation would be fun, too. So anything else? What's going on? Are you just hanging out, enjoying life? Yeah,
like I say, I've done a few flying things in both TV commercials that are produced up here and movie business. And other than that, I'm just flying full-scale gliders and flying and playing. And I've got a nice new Mac Pro sitting on my desk.
Isn't that pretty?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I was rooting for your video editors to get yours.
Yeah, no, they ended up getting Windows machines. Sorry, Ray.
Oh, my.
Ray's always been a pilot and an avid flyer, and it just makes sense that you would get into the quadcopter scene.
Why don't we go up in a glider? That'd be amazing.
We can go up to Vancouver, and Ray will take us for a glider ride. You want to do that?
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, deal.
I'm in. That's where our next meetup is then.
Next
Ray,
meetup,
I just
Vancouver.
thought I would check in and say hi.
Oh, I'm so glad you did, Ray. I miss you. It's great to talk to you.
Well, we'll have to hook up sometime.
And you can go back and look at the old episodes of Maxwell's House there on the TWiT website.
Right.
What a great show. What a great show. Hey, thank you, Ray.
All righty.
Good to talk to you. Take care.
Take care.
Yes, somebody's asking if we're going to go to the East Coast, and I think in spring we should go to New York.
We absolutely.
So I believe we'll be in New York in spring.
Absolutely. And maybe do a New England swing so I can visit Mom, and we'll figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next vacation we'll do a meetup in New York and then go get your mom. And
okay.
That'd be fun.
I'd very much like to. I'm even willing to fly out of here on a Wednesday night and, spend a Thursday, do a meetup, and fly back on a Friday so that we don't miss any shows.
Why don't we make it like for 3 days and we can see an actual,
show.
we can go see
Broadway
a show when we're there.
All right. Andrew is next from Australia. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Leo. How you going, mate?
It's going great. How are you? We had a great meetup at Hart's Pub in Sydney about 2 years ago. That was a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I've actually been to the TWiT Cottage myself. So, TWiT Brick House myself beginning of the year.
We have
been over there.
We have such great fans in Australia, and I know it's a bit of a hike to get here, but that's great. Where in Australia are you from?
Gold Coast, Paradise Point on the Gold Coast.
Nice, very nice. You were up there too. Mm-hmm. Well, what can we do for you?
Okay. Well, look, Leo, I'm actually a content creator myself. I do video game streaming, Twitch streaming, that sort of stuff. We have a lot of trouble in this country with bandwidth caps.
I know.
Now, I'm wondering. I mean, I enjoy watching the TWiT network a lot. I watch you every morning when I get up because obviously that's when you're on live.
Right.
But I found just this week I've got 500 gigabytes of data on Telstra, which is our provider here, and basically a month.
That seems like a lot.
That's a lot.
But what happens is when you factor in I do 1080p streaming, then I watch you at 1080p.
Are we a gig an hour? We're close to it, probably, huh?
It's actually more like 1.5 from what I've been advocating through Chromecast on the Chromecast.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm wondering how do you suggest? Is there ways to get around? Is there ways to get around that so I can view your shows rather than having to go through YouTube and watch the highly compressed versions that you get on YouTube? Because I enjoy the FlowSoft stream on.
I agree, and we do offer downloads, HD and so forth. But one of the reasons that we offer lower quality video and audio, and we do have an audio stream that is going to be relatively skinny for you. The reason we do that is we understand that 500 gigabytes is not awful.
Well,
I mean.
But here's a suggestion. Why doesn't he go to like a local place do you have any places that have Wi-Fi for free? Download everything to your iPad, and then you go home and you AirPlay what you've downloaded.
There you go.
Isn't that a way around this?
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking it's more like watching live. Is there anything? I mean, I don't mind the download.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, if you look, when you go to live.twit.tv, you will see a variety of providers, and you'll also see a lower bandwidth bit gravity stream, a 400 kilobit bit gravity stream. You're going to sacrifice quality. I mean, if you want we don't do 1080p, by the way. The highest quality you can get is 720p from us.
Must be my Sony Bravia then that's pushing
it. Might be upscaling it. Is that right? That's right, Alex. Right? 720p is the highest stream you can get. He's saying 1.5 gigs an hour on the highest quality stream. That's an awful lot of bandwidth you're using.
It's coming from TWiTcast through my Chromecast.
Yeah.
Right?
$40 Chromecast. But
he's watching it on TWiTcast, so that's the FlowSoft stream.
Yeah. Is there anything on? I don't know. You guys don't develop the TWiTcast app, do you?
No, it's Mark Lane, and TWiTcast does not. Here's what happens with FlowSoft. I believe it's adaptive HLS streaming. So I think what it's doing is it's looking. Russell, why don't you come? Do you have a second?
Well, I have a question. If you'd like,
he doesn't have it written down, but I believe it's adaptive HLS streaming.
It's very similar to what I'm.
If he's watching on the TWiTcast, if he somehow convinced the Chromecast that he was at a lower bit rate, wouldn't FlowSoft adjust down to lower quality?
I'm on high-speed gigabit fiber,
so he doesn't really have a choice if he's going to use the Chromecast app. Yeah, that's Mark. And so Mark's choosing, I guess, the highest quality that he can use. Houdini 7, who knows a little bit because he wrote our Roku app and he wrote several other apps, says it is adaptive HLS. So that's what's happening is it's seeing you have a gigabit. And it's saying, well, he can afford to have the highest quality. You'd have to trick it. You'd have to use some sort of oddball software to trick it into thinking it had a lower bandwidth.
Probably won't be able to work some magic with the
It's kind of mean of Telstra to give you a gigabit bandwidth, but then cap it at 500 gigabytes a month. That's mean.
Tell me about it.
Hey, I apologize. There's not much we can do at our end. I'm sorry to say. We try to offer you the biggest variety, but if you're using the TWiTcast app, yeah, you have to talk to the creator of that.
I mean, the great thing is too. I mean, the amount of content you produce, it's absolutely. I mean, I watch every show. I mean,
so what you're saying is we should do fewer shows.
No. No, don't bring your production down, Leo.
Hey,
it's great.
We're going to run, but thank you, Andrew. I appreciate the very kind words, and I'm glad to know you're watching in the morning. That's great.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
Take care. Bye-bye. Susan is on the line from Seattle. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
How are you today? I hear you great.
I'm excellent.
So what can we do for you?
I need you to get somebody to get together with Tivo.
Yeah, this bugs the heck out of me. When I use a Tivo Romeo at home, and when I use my Tivo and I go to popular on the web, it's never us.
Well, not only that, you can't get a lot of your shows. I can't get the afternoon news. I can't get Friday Night with Padre. I can't get the Android app show. You can only get like about half of them. So you used to be able to put in an RSS feed.
Right. I thought you could enter a URL. You can't do that anymore?
Hold on. Patrick has some information on this. He should sit down and join us. Here, Patrick. Have a seat.
Yeah, they used to, I guess they've changed the way TiVo works because you used to be able to enter a URL.
And now TiVo has apps that do the podcasting. And so I've been talking with TiVo, and they've outsourced that to a third party that does this.
So you're going to talk to them?
I have been talking to them, and I keep trying to set up meetings, but they keep dropping the ball. And so I have to keep just poking them.
So Susan, by the way, this is Patrick Delahanty, who is one of our engineers here. Here's how you can help Susan. Email or write to TiVo and say, I would really love to watch TWiT on my TiVo, and please help them set that up. They're trying to work with you.
Yeah, and I have a TiVo, so I want it too.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Susan.
Wait a minute, I have another little tiny one.
Okay.
What are we doing with the Shark Tank show? I know that's not the name of it, but
I Fund That, it's called, and it is kind of a Shark Tank clone, yeah. It's Shark Tank for crowdsourced.
I thought she said the short neck.
Shark Tank?
Oh, I can barely hear the caller, so I didn't hear her.
Shark Tank show. No. What's the story with I'd Fund It?
Yeah, I'd Fund That.
Okay.
So we need to bring that back.
Oh, well, we're working on it.
So we talked about before the show began, but we'll reiterate. We love that show too, but we need to find some hosts for it. We're trying to get John C. Dvorak. I don't want to do it every week. You know why, Susan? I hate to be mean to people.
No, I totally understand.
And I think a lot of the times, and we get great people, but a lot of the times you have to tell people the truth, which is go fund yourself.
And that's never pleasant. Well, really what we're trying to do is we're trying to secure 3 in-house, in-studio, hosts to be on the show. Leo and I can always rotate in from time to time, so he might actually be on the show.
Oh, I'll do it once in a while.
And then we have to tighten up the back-end production work on the show to make it viable for this network, and then I believe we'll launch it. So we're just working on those 2 pieces of it.
Yeah, we love the show. It takes a lot of production effort, as you might imagine, to get the candidates in, and we want to find the right host. We want to do it right.
Right.
But we just love that show. I think it's such a great concept. I'm glad you like it too, Susan. Thank you.
I do too. Okay, I've got to go because I got to write to TiVo.
Yeah. Go write to TiVo.
And hey,
everybody, write to
all
TiVo.
of our TWiT fans out there, write to TiVo.
Thanks, Susan.
You should just tweet about it, Leo.
I wonder if there's an address we could give out. TiVo. Well, I'm sure we could figure it out.
Hey, Patrick, tweet this out, and then we'll reply.
We want to be, well, we don't. Now, the trick on this, though, is you don't want to piss off TiVo either.
No, you just say, hey, we're trying to really figure this out.
Just say, I love my TiVo. There's only one thing missing.
Right.
I wish I could watch TWiT. I wish I could watch all the TWiT shows. That's it. Tweet that. I love at TiVo. There's only one thing missing. I wish I could watch all the TWiT shows.
Right.
At TiVo. That's the best way to do it. Believe me, nowadays it's ridiculous. Don't email, don't mail anybody. Just at TiVo them.
And just to let people know, Studio B, it has been in use. It's been ready. So we've been using this.
So we did a new editor's systems special with Russell. He came, he sat down, he read you all of the things. But I do think that once they're not up and running yet, they are Dell machines, very high-end machines with dual graphics cards and stuff, and dual 10 gigabit Ethernet and so forth. But I think that would be a good special to do at some point with Russell.
Okay.
Maybe we could do one of our inside twits. We could just be on.
Have you ever done a triangulation with Russell?
No, I bet
you should just bring him on there.
Yeah.
And just then you guys can incorporate this into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we take the next caller?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, me? Yeah. Our next caller is, I believe, is David in Tucson. Hi, David.
Hi.
Hi.
Great to see you guys. Great to talk with you.
Thanks for calling.
I want to let you know my 11-year-old would like to apply for that job for the engineering TD position.
Well, when your 11-year-old's 16, have him or her move to Petaluma, and we'll talk.
Sounds good. He wants to go to the Cupertino University, he calls it.
That's good. Well, it sounds if he's got that ambition at the age of 11, he probably will.
Oh, he's programming on Swift. He's running Minecraft servers and the whole 9 yards.
You must be very proud. That's great.
Oh yeah. That's well, we're a tech family. I do assistive technology, and my big question for you is, I watch the Mac Break Weekly. I watch the Google program, Android program, the Windows, because I need to know with each one of these operating systems as they progress, how do people with cognitive disabilities, sensory disabilities, physical disabilities be able to more successfully access these systems and integrate them into their daily life. And frankly, I don't see enough of it, and there's such a huge demand. You're probably familiar with the ResNet conference or the big conference at CSUN in L.A. or the Closing the Gap conference. I mean, it's a huge assistive technology world out there that I just don't see covered on a regular basis by any of the tech blogs, tech websites, or unfortunately TWiT. I mean, you're part of my continuing education program.
Yeah, and we should do a better job. The tech guy spends a lot, not a lot, but spends probably of all the shows the most time on assistive technologies. We have a number of blind listeners who frequently call in and help us out and talk about it. And there are a lot of great websites. We don't do a specific show for assistive technologies, but I think you're right. I think we should incorporate more information about it in our regular shows.
Yeah, for example, when people were criticizing Google Glass, I have clients who are quadriplegic who are using Google Glass because it's the first time they can take pictures by voice on their own, make phone calls, by voice, and control things without being tethered by a cable.
Right.
So it's very exciting stuff, and I'd love to see more. I'd love to encourage you, and thank you for all the great work you're doing.
Well, I thank you for the call. It's great, David, and good luck to what's your son's name?
Eric.
Good luck to Eric. That sounds neat. That sounds
pretty incredible.
I'm kind of jealous because neither Lisa's son's kind of geeky. He's 11 also.
Yeah, but he likes to game more than he likes to build.
And my son never, or daughter never, I mean, they use technology, but they don't have that much interest in it.
He doesn't care about watching the technology or watching TV. He's just building stuff. You know?
I love that. Hey, David, you know, the other answer to your question is you should do a show.
Anytime, you let me know.
Well, I don't mean on TWiT necessarily, but I mean that's the really wonderful thing about podcasting is I really don't want to seem like, hey, we're the only people who could do shows. Everybody should do a show, and if that's something you're passionate about and you care about, I would love to see you do a show. And you know what? If the show is great, maybe we would carry it on TWiT. That'd be the easiest way for us to add that.
Well, let me ask you one quick question on the tech side there for doing podcasts. What is a good camera that you would use that I see you guys using when you're doing your...
We use consumer-grade Canon Vixia HF10s, or what are we using now?
Right.
10s, 20s, and 30s, depending on what
Don't we have a list of this when we were building the studio?
It's on the website, on the, maybe wiki.twit.tv. But, you know, you don't need anything that fancy. Nowadays, any HD camcorder or camera even, most, you know, iJustine, what does she use? She uses, I think, a Canon point and shoot, the ELPH S100 or something like that, or maybe the 110 for her videos. You don't need a fancy camera. Any point and shoot will do it. You just put it on a tripod or a Joby Gorilla Pod, and you know, microphone helps. You know, we've always paid a lot more attention to audio than a lot of other shows, and that's because I believe, coming from radio, that audio is every bit as important, if not more important, than video. You could have 1 frame a second. If the audio were okay, you'd be all right.
That's right.
But you could have 30 frames a second and bad audio, you wouldn't watch the show. So
the sound paints the picture in your imagination.
I agree. So do a show, David. That's your opportunity.
Let me know if you can get that crane cam. 3000.
Wait a minute. The future of video podcasting.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, I think we can do one more call.
One more? All right, I picked up already on... We'll move fast. John in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League World Series. Hi, John.
How do you remember that?
I know everything.
He remembers everything.
No, you know what? That's a radio trick. Yeah. That's a radio trick. You know, one factoid about every town.
You had a team here a couple years ago.
We remember that very well. Remember, we were sitting right here watching the Petaluma Little League. Oh, that was exciting. They came from behind. They were like 13 runs down. And
I just want you to know we love in the Green household. We love the TWiT network. In fact, I cut Comcast cable, and really TWiT is my TV cable right now. And we love this type of show for background where you could call in, and we love to hear Scott Wilkinson just talk to the chat room, stuff like that. Thursdays and Fridays are a little weak for shows for me, and wondering if you could do more of this to fill in where you don't have a show. I know it probably costs money to get someone to sit there and do it, but it's light entertainment, and it keeps me on your network.
Well, it's true, John. When we started Tech TV, you know, they didn't really think the call-in shows were going to be very popular. But they said, well, Leo, you do that on radio. Could you just fill time by taking calls? And I did it. And, of course, they ended up being the most popular shows on Tech TV were a call for help in the screensavers. I understand that people love this. Somebody wrote me yesterday and said, can you do another tech guy a week?
Yeah.
And I said, I already do 6 hours.
Well, it doesn't have to be you, but maybe more of this type of stuff when there's
I think it's a great idea.
Time from shows.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I like it.
I think you're going to have you're almost a TV network, a channel that's going to take over like ABC or Fox or
this close.
Us techies.
Yeah, we're this close.
Well, we're going to keep working on adding content to the network. So Friday's
we could do more call-in
Friday's
stuff.
More of a slower day because it's the end of the week, and same with Saturday.
You know what's funny is that this is taking calls is a hard thing to do. It's perhaps a more skilled thing to do. Most of our hosts are new to broadcasting, and taking calls is kind of the next step. It's taken me 30 years.
I would say most of our hosts. I mean, please, Sarah's been broadcasting as long as you have.
Sarah, do you want to take calls?
But, I mean, I think it would have to be related to if it makes sense for them and if it's a topic that they want to cover, then it would make.
Right.
it would make for good content. But we want to be careful about
I agree with you, John. I like the idea.
It seems like if you had banner ads, and I don't know if you like those for sponsors that are light. No.
You mean just on the screen right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
or if I were taking a big Coca-Cola right now?
Well, the reason why I say no, I'm not trying to knock the idea. It's just that we try not to overwhelm our audience with too many ads, and I just don't want to do scrolling banner ads and people are talking. I don't think that's
Does Padre ever take calls on Padre's Corner? Because that would be a good place for that.
Well, we could talk about this.
Yeah.
I think it's something
It's up to
consider.
Padre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want you to know that you guys are great, and my TV watching now is off of cable and onto, and you see HBO is going to come on, and I think there's going to be more of this. Yep.
You nailed it, John. I actually, when I saw that story, I thought we've been waiting for what they called IPTV to happen, where somebody broadcasting on the internet was equal to somebody broadcasting on cable or on a tower. And I think this is just another crack with HBO saying we're going to sell directly over the internet to our customers, and that's very good for us. I was talking to Kevin Rosen. I'll let you know when this interview I did with Kevin comes out. It'd be another week or so for his Foundation series, and that's something we were talking about. Is we believe in the notion of internet television, obviously, but we've been waiting for it to take off. And when it does, I hope that we are still here and still doing it. Nice to talk to you. Thank you, John.
Yeah, all the best to you guys.
Thank you.
Great,
I appreciate
thank
it. Out of time because we're going to get ready for...
we should be running I-5 and let them set up for Tech News Tonight.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone.
That was fun.
Good. Yeah, excellent.
Well, in a way, John got what he wanted. We're going to do more call-ins. Every week we'll we'll try to do an Inside Twit every week and take calls.
Yeah, I think next time what I'd like to do is take a few questions from chat, and then we'll turn to calls, or we'll do a call and then a question from chat. I think we can mix it up.
The thing that takes time is not the call or the chat; it's us answering.
Right, but
so
I agree.
It's the same
I think
amount of time.
I think we should have a balance.
The reason I like calls and the reason we do calls on radio shows is because that's a person, as opposed to me saying, "Kicking Back asks in the chat room."
Well, but I think
it's less interesting.
I think
people often say that. Why don't you do tweets or questions from Twitter?
Yeah, no. I'm not saying you didn't hear me. I just said that we used to only answer questions in the chat, and we only used to. Now we've switched all the calls. I'd like to mix it up. That's all.
We answered 8 or 9 questions from chat today.
Probably, yeah.
So we do both.
Yeah.
But chat is less interesting. I mean, it's nice to talk to people. That's really the truth of it.
So yeah, if you're in the chat room and you want to get on the phone, I think it'd be great.
Or ask in the chat room.
Yep. Excellent. All right, we're done.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now we join I-5 for the iPhone. And I'll see you Saturday. Actually, wait, no.
You'll see Leo tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. Mike Elgin's not feeling well. You might see me for TNT, but you're definitely going to see me.
No, you're not going to see.
Is Mike okay?
He's resting, so he said he'll be in tomorrow.
He's resting comfortably?
Apparently.
The Ebola has receded?
Well, we don't know, but
so,
he
was not feeling well today. He went right home.
Yeah.
But
apparently he even had to take a break in TNT.
What? Really?
Poor guy.
Did he stop and vomit?
He actually stopped and took a break.
Oh my God.
Haven't you noticed we've got a bucket over there for him? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
So tomorrow we'll start around
Mike
right
will
after
be back.
TNT. TNT starts at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m.
It'll be
Eastern
you,
time.
Mike, and Sarah tomorrow.
And we'll do our live coverage of the iPad announcement at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 Eastern time. That is 9 plus 7, 16:30 UTC tomorrow. We'll start a little bit before the Apple event, which starts at 10 a.m., the iPad and whatever else Apple is.
And one final note, we are moving Know How because we're concerned we're going to be pushing all of our shows an hour late. So Know How will air at 6 p.m. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow only.
Yes, tomorrow.
It's a special time tomorrow only.
7? Okay, then it's 7. Padre just put in the chat room it was 6, so
Padre
7 p.m.
will be a little early for the show.
They'll be setting up.
This Week in Computer Hardware, right after This Week in Computer Hardware, it'll be Padre and
if they have a 19-inch iPad, I'd be amazed. But we'll see what happens. All right, let's go.
Thank you, everybody.